Hey class, in this video, I'm going to show you how to start with a basic bookmark in Tinkercad grabbed from Thingiverse and how to add a little bit to it so you can add an image that you like and add your name. And those things you'll turn in Google Classroom, and then we'll start 3D printing them. So in your Google Classroom, you'll notice on the most recent post, there is a link to something called bookmarks. And that will take you to Thingiverse, which is a website where once people finish 3D designs in Tinkercad or other 3D modeling software, they can upload their designs into Thingiverse and you can download them and use them or modify them. Think of it as like YouTube, where YouTube you can share videos, but Thingiverse is where you share 3D models. And if you look here and I scroll through the different photos, you can see the same base to the bookmark exists, but the top part, like this Batman or this lightning bolt or this bat, they all change, or the dog with the heart in it. You know, I love dogs. And you can see the different ones that are available, Superman, etc. But this one is just the basic bookmark part. So this is the one you want to download. So you'll click here on Thing Files, and if you scroll down, the very last one just says bookmark, because this is the one that has nothing on the top, because you're going to design something to go on the top. So click bookmark.stl, and this is going to download it. On your Chromebook, it's just going to download it into your downloads folder. That was my dog. And I'll click save. And then you're going to open a new tab and go to Tinkercad. And you're going to log into your Tinkercad account. And then you're going to click on create a new design. This is going to open up a blank document. And the first thing you want to do is click import, so you can import that image you just downloaded. So you'll click choose file, and it'll be in your download section, and you'll just look for it, and it is called bookmark. Here it is, bookmark. Click open, and you're just going to import it as it is. We can change a little bit the height here, so I can make it a little bit thicker if that's important. And we'll keep the scale at 100%. And then it's going to import, and here it is. And if we look at it at the different views, you can see it's just a nice simple shape. And you're going to go ahead and add something here and put your name on it somewhere. So our friend in Mr. Han's class, Simon, is moving this Friday. So he won't be able to print his bookmark before then because he won't be finished designing it. So I've decided I would go ahead and show how to make a bookmark using his name so that I can print it for him. But then I'll just make a video like this so you can see how it works. I'm going to do a super simple one. You can spend more time if you want to make it more complex, but I would start with a box, and then I would get it close. You don't have to get it super close yet. And then right here, this middle dot says in the center, that's the height, and it's now 20 millimeters high. I'm going to say I want this to be 2 millimeters high. And then when you press return, it's 2 millimeters high. And from the other one, I remembered it said 1.5. So I'm going to just go ahead and change this to 2 as well. So now the height of the bookmark part and the top part are now both 2 millimeters, so they match up. So now I'm probably going to, you can see it overlaps a little bit, but I don't want it to overlap yet. So I'm just going to connect it like that. If I look at different angles, you can see that it's connected. And now I'm going to take and make it, I don't know, a little bit wider. So I'm going to make it 30 wide. So when I drag, I can see this right up here, and I can just click into it and type the exact width I want it. And I'm not sure how tall I want it, but maybe about 10. And I really want this centered. So you might remember that we need to use the align tool to do stuff like that. So I'm going to select that and hold shift and select the bookmark. And then I'll click on the align tool. And if you hover over the different parts, it's going to show you where the parts will move to. So this moves that top part in the center. So that's not really what we want. I can click on this, and this is going to move the bookmark part to the center of that top piece. And now you can see that it looks like it's centered. At the end, we're going to group everything together, but let's see. I asked Simon about stuff that he likes, and one thing he said was stars. So I think I'm going to make this a little bit higher. So it's going to be more like 15 millimeters high. And that's going to allow me to put this star up here a little bit better. And once again, I have to check the height of this. And you might remember we made it too tall. And so now it's the same height, but I probably want to rotate it a little bit. And I'll probably put it more like, I don't know, 17. Doesn't have to be exact here. I'm just trying to move it around a little bit and put a star at the top. Now I could also align this to this. Select both of those, click the align tool, and then it's sort of this one in the center, and it should move the star over just a little bit. And I think before I add his name, I'm going to select everything, click and drag and make this dotted line around everything. And you're going to go up here to group, but you can also click Control G to make it, to group it as one big shape. So you notice there's this little spot right here that doesn't quite look right. So I'm going to undo that grouping, and I'm going to make the star a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to select everything again and group it again, and now you can see that that shape no longer sticks out like that. So it doesn't quite look like a perfect star, but you get the idea. And I'm going to add Simon's name right here, and to do that I'm going to click here and choose text and numbers, and I'm going to click on this first one, and when I bring it out, then I get this box right here. The text says TEXT. That's what's written here. So if I want to change it here, I can write Simon right here. And then I can drag it on top here. Oh no, it's too big. So hopefully you figured out you can just resize things like this. Resize it till it fits how you want it. Don't make it too tall or too fat. And once you start making the text a little bit smaller, sometimes when you select it, you're actually selecting a whole, and you're really selecting the spot underneath. And you probably are saying, but Mr. P, it's too tall. That is not going to be a good print. You know, what you want are heights of things that are similar. So if this is 2, if I make this 2, that is going to be exactly the same height. And although it looks different now, it's going to be exactly the same height, so you won't be able to read it. So what I would do is I would make this at least 1 centimeter taller, and that way your letters are going to be slightly raised, so you're going to be able to read it this way. And just for fun, I'm going to add one more thing. I'm going to go back to basic shapes, and I'll scroll down and get my star again. And this time I'm going to make it quite a bit smaller. And then I'm going to just move it on up here and try to adjust it so that it's, I don't know, a little bit bigger like that. Maybe it's still too big, and then I'm going to, I'm just going to eyeball it a little bit like that. And once again, 10 is too big, but I want it to be maybe 3, so that it should be slightly raised. You can see it's slightly raised here, just like the letters, so it'll get some contrast and you'll be able to read it. And once again, I'm going to select everything and I'm going to group it. Control G groups it. Don't worry about the colors because we only can print in one color, and it's the color of the filament. So now I have my bookmark. It's got my name on it. I've customized it a little bit. And you could change this to be bookmark and then your name so that when you turn it into Google Classroom, it's clearly marked. And now you're going to export this because that is going to be what you turn in Google Classroom. And you want to click STL because that's the type of file it is. And then it's going to go right into your downloads, and it's going to keep the bookmark Simon and add this extension. You can click save, and then you'll turn it into Google Classroom. But this is how you customize a bookmark. You can spend more time to make this top part of the bookmark a little more interesting if you like. I just wanted to show you some basic tools. You can go through characters, etc. So just make sure that the thickness, the z-axis, we'll call it, of whatever you add is at least as thick as the bottom part and maybe a little thicker, but not too thick. And it's got to be able to sit flat on the print bed. If it can't sit flat, it's going to fail. Otherwise, we'll have to rotate it around. So have fun and let's see what you can come up with. Once I get the first 6 that are turned into Google Classroom that look like they will print, I'll start printing them for you. You might have to redo them many times. That's unfortunately, 3D printing is still not an exact science, and we're learning as we go.